Welcome to Extinguishing Burnout, an on purpose way out of the vicious cycle for medical professionals. This is the third module in a series of three. Hello, my name is Kara Barr, and I'm a certified life coach. If you've already completed modules 1 and 2, we've met before. Hello, thanks for coming back. If this is your first chance, let me introduce myself a little further. Prior to becoming a life coach, I worked as a registered nurse in several areas, including surgical nursing, occupational health nursing, and corporate health and wellness. I still retain my nursing license and have a particular interest in helping my nursing and physician colleagues who are grinding it out every day in hospitals and clinics around the world. I've watched for years and briefly experienced burnout myself. And now, with the onset of COVID, the burden of being on your game and ready to go and ready to flow all the time with whatever change the day brings, new rules, more PPE, new processes, new and different everything, you are likely experiencing pressures you've never felt before. I hope these modules get you started on a path toward minimizing the negative feelings and emotions that are seemingly brought on by burnout. It's my intent to talk about some things you may never have really thought about before and to help you find immediate relief. Sometimes the negative thoughts and emotions can be so ingrained that it may take more than a PowerPoint module to get you where you'd like to be. If you find that to be the case for you, please contact me through my website at raisethebarlifecoaching.com. Be sure to spell bar correctly, like my last name. And by now, if you've watched modules 1 and 2, you're ready to start learning about positive intelligence and the operating system. If you haven't watched modules 1 and 2, no worries. I think you'll still get a lot out of this module. Before we go further, as you work through this presentation, it would have been helpful if you've completed 2 very brief assessments. Please go to www.positiveintelligence.com. Then locate both the assessments for the PQ score and the saboteur assessment. Print them out or have them handy because you'll want to refer to them in this module. Additionally, while you're on this site, you'll notice the full course of Positive Intelligence is offered to the general public for the cost of $995. Because of my affiliation with Positive Intelligence, if you're interested in taking the full course, I can offer it to you for a drastically reduced price. All my contact information is shown in detail on several slides. Okay, let's get started. I'd like to do, first of all, a very brief review. After another quick look at the model, where we learned that all thoughts are optional and that all feelings 100% of the time are created from our thoughts, we know that we want to intercept our current thinking with new thinking. And we want to do that at the level of thoughts and feelings. Now, this slide is a little busy, but I'm just using it to capture all the things we've learned thus far. And as a reminder, we generate most of our thoughts either from our saboteur or primitive brain or our sage, prefrontal cortex brain. There are 10 main saboteurs that we learned about, the strongest being our judge. We know that in order to overcome saboteur thinking, we must switch to sage thinking, the sage perspective, and the 5 sage powers of empathy, explore, innovate, navigate, and activate. And the way we will do this is by building our PQ brain muscle using the PQ operating system. So we've arrived at the third part of our strategy. It's important to recall the difference between your saboteur brain, also known as your primitive brain or survivor brain, and your PQ brain. The survivor brain consists of the primitive parts of the brain stem and the limbic system, both of which are involved in initiating our response to danger. The hallmark of the survival brain is the fight or flight response. It's a brilliant design of nature and instantly shifts the brain's and body's priorities to survive immediate danger. Our eyes reduce peripheral vision, focusing on the object of danger. All non-essential brain and body functions are diminished as blood is directed to the larger muscles of the heart and limbs to enable quick escape. It also narrows the mind's focus to anticipating and escaping danger to the detriment of other functions. So guess what? Those saboteurs get activated because they are the mind's survivor agents. When these get activated, they diminish access to your sage brain and all its powers. When the brain is in survival mode, it is so focused on seeing signs of danger and finding someone or something to blame, it misses signs of opportunity. Now, back in the caveman days, that survivor brain was essential for survival. And we actually needed it there to be able to escape the saber-toothed tiger or the poisonous snake that snuck up on us. But in this time we are living in now, we need it less and less to survive. We just don't have those truly life-threatening issues come up as much in our day-to-day lives. Yet, because evolution is rather slow, our brain and body still react to a yelling patient or yelling nurse or a physician or to the messed up OR schedule as deadly. That could be the judge, the victim, the controller, the hypervigilant, or other saboteurs dealing with the situation. They will perpetuate the problem. Let me digress for 1 minute. I do not mean to diminish the daily effect of saving lives, and particularly the stress of dealing with COVID-19 and how that has been so essentially hard on workers. Pardon me. It is truly an unprecedented time. The reactions to it, as you know by now, are perfectly normal. Moving to a hypervigilant state to protect yourself and loved ones seems dutiful, and it is to some extent. I would offer that in attempting to quiet the saboteurs, you will begin to find some peace and calmness and a view of new possibilities that you perhaps haven't been allowing yourself to have. Remember the hot stove? You'll have your hand somewhat on the hot stove while around others, but is there any solace and trust you can take in your PPE and that you're not maybe taking right now at this time? Is there any gift in learning what you've learned about infection control? The PPE is still necessary. The vigilant measures to detect COVID in coworkers, patients, visitors, etc., are all, of course, necessary. The way you might look at this COVID-19 time is to move to the sage perspective, even while being diligent in all your duties. The sage approach, of course, would be to embrace the whole event as a gift or opportunity, which would start a different cycle, a more helpful and even virtuous one involving your PQ brain rather than your survivor brain. Let's talk about the PQ brain and its three components for a moment. The middle prefrontal cortex is relatively small and plays several roles in critical PQ functions, such as observing yourself, which only humans can do, pausing before action, soothing fear, staying centered in the middle of challenging situations, and that gut wisdom or instinct. The empathy circuitry is a term coined by Shirzad Chamine for a few different areas of the brain that are together responsible for experiencing empathy for yourself and others. It also helps your brain tune into the emotion and energy of others. The right brain deals with the big picture, imagery, nonverbal language, and the detection of invisible things such as energy and mood. It helps with our awareness of our physical sensations and emotions. This contrasts with the left brain focus on language, linear and logical thinking, and details. As children, the strengths of our survivor brain and our PQ brain are far more balanced than when we get older. Children are naturally curious, compassionate, and yearn to explore. As we grow up, our survivor brain is continually exercised, rewarded, and strengthened, while the PQ brain atrophies. In the vast majority of adults, the survivor brain muscles are far stronger than those of the PQ brain. The great news is that the PQ brain muscles respond very quickly to being exercised and can develop great strength in a relatively short time. The exercises you're about to learn all serve to strengthen those wise, calm, compassionate, sage perspectives of empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, and activate. The mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell a hell of heaven. This quote by John Milton illustrates one of the most critical principles of PQ. The positive and uplifting sage feelings of peace, joy, and true happiness are simply impossible to feel when your survivor brain is in charge. And this would be true no matter what your circumstances are. So let's get to it. Let's learn how to interrupt our saboteur thoughts, weaken our saboteur voice, and strengthen our sage. The goal in this last module is to move your survivor brain from the captain seat to the co-pilot seat. The new captain, your PQ brain, fuels your sage. To be able to make this switch, you need to strengthen your PQ brain muscles. Just like you would develop your biceps in a gym by beginning with light dumbbells and progressing to heavier dumbbells, you need to partake in the equivalent of lifting a dumbbell for your brain. And it's simple. You just shift as much of your attention as you can to your body and any of your 5 senses for at least 10 seconds. Let's do one. Close your eyes. Rub 2 fingertips together with such exquisite detail that you can feel the fingertip ridges on both fingers. If you have a thought come into your brain, do not think of it as a failure. Just focus back on your finger sensation. Let that thought go. Come back to focusing on your fingertips. Keep focusing on your fingertip ridges. Great job. That's a PQ rep. Now, normally we would ask that you try to do it for maybe about 2 minutes, but even brief moments of PQ repping are fantastic. So just like doing a bicep curl at the gym, this type of rep requires and therefore activates and energizes your PQ brain muscles. Commanding yourself to stop being lost in thought and instead being aware of your physical sensation requires use of the mid-prefrontal cortex and right brain parts of the PQ brain. Repetitive exercises of this type have shown rewiring of the brain by forming new neural pathways that remain active even when the person is no longer focusing on the exercise. I'm sure you're familiar with the suggestion by many experts to take at least 10,000 steps per day for good physical health. The PQ brain equivalent is doing 100 reps every day. An easy and doable way of accomplishing this is to shift as much of your attention as you can onto your body and any of your 5 senses for at least 10 seconds, 100 times a day. You don't need to keep exact time. 10 seconds is about 3 breaths. There are many other ways to practice PQ reps. There is focusing on breath, feeling yourself standing or sitting where you are, visual PQ reps, auditory PQ reps. A full list is provided toward the end of this module. Still sounds like a lot? Let's break it down. It's truly not that hard to build the PQ brain muscles. It just takes practice. And just like bodybuilding, you can't do it by reading about it or discussing concepts. You have to do the work. In this case, the reps. Here are some easy ways to work PQ reps into your common daily activities. The next time you brush your teeth, see if you can become laser focused on one physical sensation of brushing for a minimum of 10 seconds. Really feel the vibrations of the brush against your teeth and gums, or smell the toothpaste, or feel the bubbles of toothpaste foam bursting. Or you can look intently at your eyes in the mirror. Notice the colors and the dots in each eye, the color and length of your eyelashes and eyebrows. When you take a shower, don't go into the shower with all the many thoughts you usually have. Instead, focus on one sensation. Pay close attention to the sensation of the drops of water hitting your skin, or the sound of the water hitting the bottom of the shower, or watch the water trickle down the wall. When you perform physical exercise, zone in rather than zone out. Pay close attention to one of your five senses. If you're on an exercise machine, listen closely to the machine or to your breathing or other sounds around you. Feel the various sensations in each muscle or muscle group as you work out. Or if you're outside, pay close attention to the colors and textures around you. PQ reps can enhance the pleasure of eating and might be a more powerful method of dieting than any diet plan. As you notice texture and flavor as you chew, you won't eat as quickly or you won't eat absentmindedly. And again, with music, zone in, not out. Pay close attention to the sound of one instrument or notice every note of the music. PQ repping can be done with sports too. Make a point of paying attention to your weight on your feet or the breeze on your face, your grip on your racket and how it feels in your hand, or your foot on the ball. You can even pay attention to watching the ball spin and feeling its impact. Actively let go of thoughts as they arise and sink into a deeper body wisdom, only possible through PQ brain activation. This is what athletes report as being in the zone. I love sports. And what a light bulb moment for me it was when I realized how this explains why athletes sometimes choke in difficult situations. The only reason that basketball player misses the winning shot, a shot she's made hundreds of times in the last seconds of the game, is because her judge saboteur's distracting voice is in her ear. When the judge is quieted by the PQ brain activation with total focus on the ball and net, it's literally a different ball game. And finally, let's talk about family time. Next time you hug someone you love, be fully present for at least 10 seconds. Feel their breathing or heartbeat. Feel your feet on the ground rather than hearing mind chatter. Notice the color of their eyes, the flecks you've never noticed before. 1 minute of being fully present has a deeper and more lasting impact on your relationship than a whole day of scattered thoughts and activities. And I know, as busy as you are with all your various pressures, you need to cherish moments. So again, I know how busy a day at the hospital or clinic can get. You race from one procedure to another, or from one patient to another, or from one meeting to another. How can you possibly remember to try and get in 100 PQ brain reps a day? And on top of all that, your saboteurs are going to try to talk you out of it by saying, geez, you don't need to do a PQ rep right now. Just move to the next thing. Or they'll tell you that you're far too busy and there are far more important things for you to do in this 1 minute that you have. But that's the judge saboteur talking, or maybe you're hypervigilant, or any one of that cast of characters that we've discussed. Here are a few suggestions you can start with right away and will help you to just let those saboteur thoughts sort of melt or drift away. Use the bathroom as a reminder. Connecting a new routine to a well-established routine is usually a great way to make that new routine a habit. Why not use the bathroom as the connector? Now, I have known doctors and nurses who literally go all day without using the bathroom. That's not great for you either. So maybe this will encourage 2 new healthier habits. Regardless of how busy you are, first of all, go to the bathroom. And while you're there, focus on the weight of your feet on the hard surface or carpeted floor as you walk to the bathroom. Feel the texture and temperature of the bathroom door as you push on it, and the temperature and texture of the sink handles, and sound and temperature of the water, and the feel of the lather of the soap on your skin. All the while letting go, dismissing mind chatter and distracting thoughts. If you were able to truly focus for 1 whole minute, you would earn 6 PQ reps. If you had a lot of interrupting thoughts, maybe 3. You can also literally flip those saboteurs, because we know that everything can be turned into a gift and opportunity, including Mr. Judge and his accomplices. In fact, Let's make them our PQ trainers. Tell yourself that every time you have a saboteur thought, you will label it as a saboteur thought, and you will get a PQ rep in just doing that. You will stop the saboteur dead in its tracks, and you will have turned that thought into a gift. That's doubling down at its best. The combination of the bathroom reminder and saboteur reminder can easily get you your 100 reps a day. Here's how. Perhaps between bathroom visits while turning over an OR room or walking to look at an x-ray for your next patient or setting up a physical therapy appointment for your next patient, you caught yourself getting upset or anxious and were able to label those feelings as your judge or controller. You then used that opportunity to bring your attention to feeling your breathing or the weight of your body on your feet and got a PQ rep. Let's say you counted 3 PQ reps during that hour and you gave yourself a count of 4 during your last bathroom visit. You just got 7 counts toward the 100 in 1 hour. Now, please make sure you don't let any of your saboteurs make the job of counting toward 100 some big chore, bringing on stress and anxiety. The count doesn't have to be precise. Just like doing 97 dumbbell reps instead of 100 wouldn't make a huge difference. And if you forget to do reps for a whole day, don't beat yourself up. That's the judge. Just dismiss him and start fresh the next day. As your PQ brain gets stronger, you will be able to handle bigger problems in life without getting hijacked by your saboteurs. When do you stop sweating the small stuff and even most of the big stuff? The answer depends on the strength of your PQ brain muscles. Just as how heavy of an object you can lift corresponds with the strength of your physical muscles. Let's say you have medium strength PQ brain muscles. Let's say they are strong enough to handle 30 pounds. Metaphorically, you are able to handle changes or challenges thrown at you that are 30 pounds or lighter. Okay, let's go on to say that gives you the ability to remain calm when someone cuts you off in traffic or parks in your marked parking spot. You quickly label any saboteur thought, recenter, and find yourself quickly in a sage perspective. But let's say your expensive car is damaged in a hit and run, or someone completely changes your schedule without your permission, and for you, these are greater than 30-pound issues. You may not have worked up to a PQ brain strength great enough to move to sage perspective with these issues. Again, don't beat yourself up. It takes time and practice, just like working out in a gym. You're also going to have mind chatter that you can't just stop on command. Your judge will try to tell you you are a failure because you drift in and out of focus, but this is perfectly normal. Over time, your mind chatter will lose intensity and volume, but likely will never go away. Bottom line, this practice should be fun, interesting, and joyful. Lasting peace is ultimately about developing the PQ brain muscles to a point where they are strong enough to handle any situation. Once this level is reached, we can stay in a sage mode as we confront any issue. We can feel peace, curiosity, joy, compassion, or any of the sage feelings rather than distress, disappointment, regret, anxiety, anger, and fear. With sage's perspective and powers, we are confident that we can choose to either actively turn any situation into a gift or opportunity, or simply accept it and let it be. This page lists for you many of the different ways to practice PQ reps. If you find one in particular that works well for you, great. If you like to mix it up and do different types of PQ reps throughout your day, that's great too. This is your practice and needs to fit into your lifestyle. The main point is to enjoy it. Keep it lighthearted, and if something is not working for you, try something different. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Many people like to take a screenshot of this page to have on their mobile device to glance at for reminders of different ways to do PQ reps. Using mini PQ rep sessions throughout the day, not only when the judge emerges, will strengthen self-command and your sage. Like lifting weights at the gym, we strengthen our self-command muscle little by little, day by day. I'll talk through these PQ rep examples now. Breath. With eyes closed or open, notice the rise and fall of your breath in your chest and abdomen. Notice the difference in the air as it enters your nostrils, then leaves your nostrils. You would do this for approximately 1 to 2 minutes. Tactile. With eyes closed or open, rub 2 fingertips together with such exquisite attention that you can feel the ridges on both fingertips. Or wiggle your toes and try to find as many of your beautiful toes as possible. Really feel your feet, how they connect to the floor or whatever they are resting on. A third way, touch or hold something in your immediate physical environment. Feel the texture of the object, the temperature and weight of it. Again, you would do any of these for approximately 1 to 2 minutes. Hearing. With eyes closed or open, listen for the farthest away sound that you can hear. Then switch to listening to the closest sound you can hear. If you have not yet heard your own breath, listen for your own breath. Again, you would do this for 1 to 2 minutes. Visual. Look at something in your physical environment with intense attention. Notice color, texture, shadowing, and light. Again, for 1 to 2 minutes. It may help to set alarms during the day as a reminder to do some short PQ reps. I'd like to remind you again, now that you've completed all the modules, if you're interested in a full course about positive intelligence, I can get you into the full 7-week course at a much reduced price because of a special affiliation I have with them. This would give you full access to weekly videos, weekly Q&A sessions, on which Shirzad Shamin himself attends and answers questions, a pod led by me if you choose to have the pod led by me, a fantastic app for your phone to walk and talk you through all sorts of PQ repping exercises, much more detail than the one that I just did for you. Beyond the 7-week course, the folks at Positive Intelligence have a terrific program called Grow that you might also be interested in. If you'd like to go further in depth about any of the topics we've covered here and take them to the next level, please go to my website and schedule a discovery session. I'd love to work one-on-one with you. All of the information you need to contact me is on this screen. If you've become even slightly more aware of how to manage your mind, I am thrilled. There are so many ways for a coach to help you name what's really important to you, hold you accountable for what you want for yourself, advocate, champion, and celebrate with you. As a result, you will understand yourself better, gain clarity, and grow your confidence so you can be decisive and at peace working towards your goals. Take a look at the few of the powerful questions on this slide and consider talking through them with me. It has truly been my joy and honor to share these powerful insights with you. I believe deeply that you are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, and I appreciate your contribution to this world. Thank you.